Welcome back. A landmark decision by the Supreme Court making same-sex marriage legal in all 50 states. Many Republican candidates calling the ruling judicial overreach.
One of those White House hopefuls, former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum, tweeting this: 5 unelected judges redefined foundational unit of society. Now it is the people's turn to speak. So what specifically does he plan to do about it? The 2016 candidate joins us live from Charleston, South Carolina. Senator, it's good to see you this morning. What should the people, what should you, what should members of Congress do about this decision?
Well, I think we have to move through the process of trying to change it, and that you can do everything from passing laws to push back on specific things to what I've suggested, which one example, for example, is the Religious Freedom Protection Act, First Amendment Protection Act, to protect people of faith from what will be the consequence of this ruling, which will limit their religious liberty, freedom in this country. There's no question that's already happening with respect to people of faith trying to live their lives out and disagreement with this court ruling in other states around the country, and it will certainly happen as a result of Justice Kennedy's absurd opinion. So that's number one. Number two, we have to reclaim marriage as an institution that's not about 2 adults or more than 2 adults, that it's about children. Marriage has always been about children. It's always been about how to create the best environment for the next generation to be raised in a society. And we've detached marriage from having and raising children. And I think that's the next effort to try to reclaim that.
Senator Ted Cruz has said that the Supreme Court, maybe perhaps the justices, should face retention votes. The idea that these lifetime appointments, maybe we should reconsider those. Do you agree with that, Senator?
Well, I think what Ted is trying to get at is a legitimate point, that what the judges have done over the course of now many decades has really entered into the political realm and just decided that they're just another branch of the government that can make laws, that their job is no longer just to be really judges and try to be referees between the executive and congressional branch, and instead of doing their proper limited job, they've decided that they're going to get into the realm of politics. And if they're going to get into the realm of politics, why just stop at retention? I mean, in Pennsylvania, we elect all of our judges from the Supreme Court on down. And we recognize and have recognized that there's a political element to the judiciary and that the public ultimately has to have some say in that. And so if you're going to go a half measure, which is what Ted's done, then you might as well go a full measure. I'm not sure that's going to change anything. I think you look at the laws in Pennsylvania, the courts in Pennsylvania. If you give them this power to legislate, putting it, whether they're elected or appointed, the problem is the power that they don't have under the Constitution that they're exercising, and neither political branch is fighting back.
Right.
And so I would make the argument that the better solution is if you're going to put effort into trying to control the judiciary, it's by doing things that limits their jurisdiction or requires, for example, the Supreme Court to take all appeals. So right now they have the best of both worlds. They can make decisions whenever they want to do, but they don't have to get bogged down with any of the consequences of their decisions by having other cases come to them.
So you just pointed out that even as gay marriage has become the law of the land, heterosexual marriage is basically collapsing. People aren't getting married even when they have children. And you said we need to do something about that. What specifically can, say, the Congress do about that?
Yeah, you know what I always say, I say this out on the campaign trail all the time, that the most important power that a president has, and obviously I'm running for president, the most important power the president has is the power of the bully pulpit. Can you imagine if instead of this president spending all his time talking about global warming, if he talked about the importance of marriage and fathers and mothers taking responsibility and raising their children in healthy homes and actually promoting marriage, not just from the presidency, but in the popular culture and in the business community, and actually have programs that support the idea of marriage and togetherness in order to raise children. That to me is the most important thing we can do as a society, is begin to lift up and a marriage as an institution that's important for the survival of our country, because too many children are falling through the cracks. You mentioned, Tucker, that now half of the children who are born out of wedlock in America, over half, are born in houses where the father is living but they're not married. Why? Because now marriage has nothing to do with children. And the more now that with this decision, we've now cemented that marriage is not connected to children, and therefore you're going to see more children growing up in unmarried homes.
Senator Rick Santorum joining us live from Florida. It's great to see you this morning, Senator. Thanks.
Thank you, Tucker.